What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great hump day. That's right, we're here. It's Wednesday, so you know that means the initial injury report for the week. Now, because of Christmas and the Monday game, all those things happening, things got pushed around a little bit. So I put out Behind Enemy Lines earlier today. Hopefully you were able to check that out. If not, I'll post it down below. But I told you yesterday and the day before I would do this one live. We have some important injury news to go over. So I can't do the longest video here, but here live. So I appreciate each and every one of you who's taking the time. If you're watching this later, feel free to comment down below. But I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your thoughts. I got the injury report for both the Eagles and the Cardinals. We're going to keep you up to date throughout week 17, getting you ready for this game, seeing who's healthy, who's not, and some good news for the Eagles. So get excited, ladies and gentlemen, but appreciate all of you. Hope you're having a great day. Let's get this bad boy started. My man Wheels up in here. Yo, dude, hope you're doing well. Happy to see you in the chat here, my man. We're going to go through, look at these injuries. Love to hear what you guys got on your mind here, but I'm going to talk about what it means and look at the depth charts for both of these teams. In case you've missed Behind Enemy Lines or any of the Eagles updates, you'll see what both of these teams look like. But let's start it off with the Philadelphia Eagles, and we got some great news here, ladies and gentlemen. Not only is Avonte Maddox a full participant at practice, but so is Landon Dickerson. Just had thumb surgery, and he's already back to being a full participant at practice. Great sign for this Sunday's game. So it looks like we will have Landon Dickerson back at left guard. Unless something comes up, anything can happen. So I'll keep you up to date throughout the week. And you know, each day I show you the injury report, and if it's green, that means it changed. So if you see green near his name, you don't want to see that. But should be good to go. Love to see that. Now, Morrow and Cunningham both being limited to start the week, fantastic sign because they're both veterans. So even if they started DNP, I would still be like, okay, there's still some hope here. They're veteran guys. You know, it's the first practice of the week. Well, look, they're limited. So a great chance that they both are back for this game. Now, we talked about this last week. What were the Eagles going to do? We talked about their roster, and we'll look at it here shortly. But hey, it's always great to have more depth there. And Darius Slay, the only player that did not practice, we talked about this. He might not play, until the last game, maybe only a little bit, maybe if not at all until the playoffs. But you want to get some kind of continuity here. So I do expect Avonte and Slay to maybe play that last game, but I don't think that you need. It's a double-edged sword there, man. You got to be careful with the injuries, but you also, want to get these guys on the same page. So we'll see. But good news for Avonte and Landon, but Avonte still on IR. And let's take a look at the IR here. Before we look at the depth chart, these are the guys you will not see on this depth chart. So Bradley, Dean, and then, of course, Evans, Johnson, and McPherson all out for the season. Now, Nakobe Dean could come back. Only time will tell. But Avonte Maddox is designated to return. And, he's still got a couple of weeks that, he can practice. They don't have to take him off IR, but that time will come whether to bring him off or his season ended. But hoping to have him for the playoffs. And then next year, getting Isaiah Rodgers off that suspended list. Very excited about how we jump in the gun there. Love it. Now, looking at this depth chart, the offense here, anybody in green is new to the squad this season. So I accidentally hit Hurts and Swift. I was messing things up, and I was like, damn it. Now, it's because they were Hurts had an injury designation, so I messed it up there. It happens every week. If you guys notice, I'll do that. But you guys know everybody else in green there is new to the team. Hurts, clearly, been here for a few years. But look, everybody looking good to go. Getting Dickerson back there, that is fantastic news. So this offense, we talk about it, needs to make those changes. We saw it a little bit on Monday here, but kind of got away from it there too. So let's stick to being creative, opening the playbook up, and also using those, backup receivers, the backup tight ends. We talked about that. It opens things up with the talent we have. So we'll see. But the offense looking healthy. Love to see it. And then on defense, we talked about Shaq Leonard, Ben Van Sumeren. Shaq had a great game. Van Sumeren, I thought, stepped in very well for his first, career start there. But we talked about how raw he was this offseason. He did well. And we talked about Wood Patrick Johnson, Nolan Smith play a little off ball just to help out there. And they did. And Nolan Smith, my God, he was getting butchered out there half the time. But Look, I talk about him as an edge rusher too. Give him time to develop. He is definitely a project there. When we drafted him, I talked about it. Look, you guys know I wanted Brian Branch there, but I like Nolan Smith. I do. And I think he's got a very bright future learning under Reddick and Brandon Graham and Josh Sweat. So fantastic. But, I still see people like, oh, he sucks. You got to cut him because he wasn't doing good at off-ball linebacker. It's like, dude, we're not going to use him as an off-ball linebacker. He just literally, we talked about it. Would there be a moment this season where he needed to be used? And I think there's times where you could use him blitzing and you could try to trust him in coverage, throw deep or throw the offenses off there. But, he's got some work to do here. And we've talked about that. And it's funny to see. It's either guy's got to be starting, you're pissed that he doesn't get a lot of snaps, or everybody wants to cut him and get rid of him because he's getting snaps and he doesn't look like an all-pro in his first year. So funny to see. But beyond that, with Slay out, Ringo's been stepping up, doing fantastic. And, Ricks has been doing well also. So love to see that. More of the young guys, please, and thank you. And then the special teams, everybody good to go there. And I think everybody's finally getting on board with my Britton Covey notion that he is one of the better returners in the league because he is number one in yards and number one in yards per return. So just saying, he's pretty good. So let's go, Covey. Keep it up. Keep doing your thing. And Man and Elliott, keep doing your thing. Lovato, one of the best special teams units in the game. But we also have 8 on offense, 8 on defense for the practice squad there. And look, we got McCollum and Smith elevated last week. We'll see what we do for special teams help. But with guys healthy, you might not need to elevate more than one or any at all. So that is what the Eagles team looks like right now. The practice squad, the roster, all that stuff. So you see what they look like. Now we're going to take a gander at what's going on with the Cardinals, their injuries, and then we're going to take a look at their depth chart there. And as I mentioned earlier, I will post behind enemy lines down in the comments as soon as I am done. But whole breakdown of everything you need to know about the Eagles' Week 17 opponent, the Arizona Cardinals. And love to hear it, my friend. And all is well. Had a great Christmas here. Look, man, still got some celebrating to do, seeing more family throughout the week here. So going to be crazy. Friday. Fan Friday. I might have to do that one early because I got to go see some family, but I hope you and the family are doing well, man. Happy that you had a good holiday, my man. Always grateful for you tuning in. Who do you think we cut when Maddox comes back? Well, we talk about this with those depth pieces at corner. You see special teams guys, you see these receivers, offensive linemen that become depth pieces. Now, for me, Britton Covey, when we talked about some of these other guys when they were coming back, that's what I'm referring to. I'm not getting rid of Covey. So now I think people are on board with that, right? The receivers, they're pretty set. I would, at this point, Quez Watkins, he might cost you a little bit, but if you need the roster spot, God, I keep saying it. Olamide needs to be getting those reps, and so does Julio over him. And they finally did it. So not looking great for him. We've talked about Albert O. I think he's definitely a big candidate. I think Albert O could be that guy. And then you talk about linemen. I kind of feel we like what we have there. I don't think we're going to get rid of any of them. You look at the defensive line. I like a lot of those guys. I don't think they want to, risk getting rid of Tuipulotu or Jomo and, putting them on the practice squad because someone could definitely claim them. And you go through the line. I think linebackers, you're going to keep Ben Van Sumer because you need help, as depth and a special teamer. And then you look at the cornerbacks. I mean, there's a lot of talented ones. I don't know that if they feel so comfortable with the young guys and they get Maddox back, he's healthy, if they just drop someone like Roby. You only have 3 safeties. You're not doing that. But you've got some practice squad guys. You've got some things. So they've got some options to think about. But my number one would probably be Albert O. You could try to put him back on the practice squad or get somebody else. Look, you tried. You wanted that F-type tight end, the receiving type guy. You've heard me since the trade deadline talk about it. I really wish they'd step up. You finally saw Calcaterra getting some work. So I guess I just needed to really beg for it like I did last week. So I'm not sure that they need to keep Alberto or maybe Calcaterra. I don't know. We'll see what they decide to do here, man. But good question there. Yo, my man Samuel, would it be a good idea to bench Bradbury in the playoffs? Place him with Ringo. I think I've talked about that here for a while now. I think he's had his struggles. And if you can get these young guys reps, you'll see what they have. And that is exactly what happened. Darius Slay gets hurt, and that really gives you the opportunity opposite. Now, take it with a grain of salt. A lot of the teams are going after him, though. And it's like we talked about this. He's definitely struggling, but he's a veteran presence. So when I talked about it last week, they're not going to bench him last week because Slay's still out. So I think he still needs to be used. But once you get, Slay back. You get Maddox back. If Kaylee Ringo continues to play the way he has, I don't see any reason why you bench him. And, Bradbury, I've talked about it, he could still have a role with the linebackers, with them being banged up. Maybe you just start practicing him at that dime backer role that we talk about with Sidney Brown and doing things against certain matchups, just being creative and being, having such versatile pieces, being able to do things. And that's one of the things with this defense. And I think you're going to see a lot of guys, positionless, where you can move them around. And, Bradbury at this age and what he's been looking like, I think he'd help us more. And they were using him. And we got our wish there. So I think that they see what's going on here. And, when everyone's fire and cut everyone, it's like, dude, they know what's going on. Unfortunately, it's on the coaches and the players. Everybody's got to be on the same page here. And when you're not getting, pass rush going on certain games or certain things, like you have to understand the context of all of it. So that's why when I say I blame it on everyone, I truly mean I blame it on everyone. And I break down why I mean everybody gets that work, man, because it's been tough all year. But good question there, Samuel. Late, what's going on with Cunningham? They were limited today. So great news there, and hopeful to have them this Sunday. But let's take a gander here at the Cardinals injury report. And that's quite a long one, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see here, quite a long list. I believe that's 11 right there. But you've got Brown and Collins and, dude, some important pieces here that did not practice. Kyler Murray, he had an illness, but they say he should be good to go. I hope he is. I play him in the fantasy finals. Oh, come on, Eagles secondary. I'm going to need you to step it up, get some interceptions. Let's get some sacks on his ass. Put him in the dirt, baby. But Zaven Collins and Brown there, that would be a big loss. Brown has been banged up for a little bit here. And then my man, Andre Sacheret. Look, miss him and his wife. They were cool people that followed me on Twitter there. Look, best of luck to them, but he was limited in practice. Dimakije, Fotu, Papo, Price, Strong, and Williams there also limited. So some depth pieces there, but a couple of starters as well. The rookie Owen Papo in there. So look, we will keep up to date with all these things going on, but that is quite a long list. And as I talked about in Behind Enemy Lines earlier, look, there's no reason that the Eagles shouldn't be able to dominate them. I don't care what kind of injuries they have. You should be able to beat that ass. Now, speaking of injuries, here are the injuries they're dealing with. Here's the reserves list. You got your IR and your practice squad IR here. So Collier, Elfline, Fenton, Fotu, Gaines, Hembro. That sounds hilarious. That's like a WWE Stony character, that RK Bro. Okay, anyways. Marlon Mack, Bobby Price, Jeff Swain, Watkins, White, and Woods. And we talked about Kaiser White being out earlier. Oh, my, that's a big loss for them. And then Josh Woods as well. So, look, Papo has to step it up, and we'll see what his injury looks like throughout the week. But let's take a look at this depth chart. And just like with the Eagles, it's color-coded. Anyone in black here is new to the team, as you just saw. Now, you've got Wilson really stepping out of nowhere, looking good as a rookie. Dortch, he's a great depth piece. Moore not doing much there. Brown been dealing with injuries, so we'll see if he even plays. But they are a top 10 run team. We talk about Connor still beasting it out there. Got to shut him down, make them one-dimensional, get after Murray. And Trey McBride, what a stud he is at tight end. These linebackers hopefully are healthy for this game. Could definitely use it here. And the offensive line, we talked about, they drafted Paris Johnson in the first round, added Wilkinson and Froholt in free agency. So look at all the depth there that is new. They only have 2 players that are depth pieces that were there last year. Everyone else is new. So Gannon brought a whole slew of different players here. And this defense of his, go check that video out. We talked about all their ranking stats, how they suck against the run. We need to run and on them. But here are their starters. And look, you see 12 starters here, just like with the Eagles, the edge rushers, interior guys. They've got, predominantly odd fronts here. And look, this team, a lot of youth here, a lot of change. So, look, Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, very talented guys. Antonio Hamilton. I like some of their secondary pieces. We talked about, these guys that were versatile when everybody was talking about Budda Baker. Some other pieces maybe we could look at. But, hey, we didn't get them. We got Byard here. I think that there's no reason this offense shouldn't be able to do work, but they've got some playmakers here. So go check that video out and learn all about what they've been doing this year. And here is their special teams unit. And you can see Dortch handling both kick returner and punt returner. You got Brewer at long snapper, Gillikin, the punter, and holder. And then, of course, Matt Prater there as the kicker. And I didn't leave out their practice squad. Do not fear, but you see 10 players on offense there, and there's 6 on defense. But one of their players is actually exempt because he's one of those international players that gets that exemption from that program. So they have an open spot. If they sign anyone, do anything, I will keep you up to date just like I do with the Eagles. But that is the injury report and what both teams look like to begin the week. But I will keep that updated. And once we have the rest of that information, like when it's on Friday, when it's questionable, out, all that stuff, I'll color code that. So everything and who's stepping in, if they're out, all that stuff. So going to keep you updated, but I hope you're all having a great week. My man Trey, appreciate you tuning in. Hope we beat the Cardinals. Yeah, I definitely want to win. I never want to lose, ever. Yo, appreciate you, my man. Hope you're having a great week here. Hope you had a great Christmas. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. You're way too kind, but currently working. We love to see it. Love you sneaking in there. But hope you're having a great day. I wanted to make this one live. I got to be quick here, but just wanted to say hello to you guys. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Talk about some of these injuries because there's a lot of concern there. But if you have any questions, you missed anything, feel free to comment down below. I would love to talk some birds with you. And look, I will be back tomorrow. I will have the top 13 matchups, and we'll have the updated injury report for that day. And then Friday, I'm going to have the game status report for you. And then, of course, Fan Friday. So, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed the show. So, it's always officially a party. Look, you guys, I love each and every one of you. I cannot thank you enough for taking the time when you're at work, you're in the car, you're in bed, whatever you're doing. You guys are awesome. I cannot thank you enough. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Hope to see you guys tomorrow for the top 13 matchups. If you need anything, you can always reach out. If you got anything from this, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always subscribe. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all have a great evening. Stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now, go Birds!